Hey, what do you call it when Cinderella busts your bracket?
What?
March Sadness.
First and foremost, you know the name. We came to
Welcome to First and Four, the podcast where a father and his firstborn break down America's four biggest sports: football, basketball, baseball, and hockey. Let's get right into it. I think today, pretty obvious, we're going to focus a lot on March Madness. It's going to be kind of the theme. We're going to cut a couple of the smaller segments just for the sake of diving into the bracket a little bit, having some fun with it. We thought for the listeners that'd be fun, and for us, it was going to be a lot more fun too.
Yeah, there's not much else going on
No.
in basketball right now, so kind of a big week.
Yeah,
It's a fun week last week, too. A lot of fun conference tourney games, lots of basketball last week, so yeah, we've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go right into the film room first. Obviously, some of those conference championships, those tournaments are a bit of old news at this point, but we can kind of recap a few things if we want to, hit a few games, and then dive into our brackets and what we've got.
Yep.
So I'm sure you're pretty excited about Purdue.
Yeah, finally. I mean,
Yeah.
last week, I think I talked about the last couple weeks have been pretty down on Purdue, and the Boilermakers were not playing well at all. Obviously, closing out the season, the regular season, the senior night didn't, they lose to Wisconsin. They head into the Big Ten tournament as a 7 seed. But man, they looked good last week. Finally, it's almost like they got back to what they were doing before defensively. And I kept talking about their defense looked terrible. Defensively last week, they really locked in and looked a lot better. And so I think that was the big kind of X factor. I think Oscar Clough, too, had a really big weekend for him. When he's playing well and they got another presence down low between him and Kaufman Wren, I think that really makes a big difference. But defensively was the big thing. Obviously going up against your Huskers after their triple bye that they got as the 2 seed.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was rebounding really what Purdue kind of did to Nebraska again too. And I think Nebraska, maybe that's one of the things that they kind of struggle with right now is rebounding.
They do struggle rebounding sometimes for sure. I was actually going to look at those. I didn't watch a whole lot of that game. I was working, and so I saw like the very end I caught.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed like it didn't even seem like Nebraska played awful. It just seemed like Purdue, like you said, kind of figured it out, locked them down defensively. Rebounds, it was Purdue 37, Nebraska 29. So yeah, you're right. I rebounded them by 8. It just seemed like they were getting a lot of offensive boards too.
Yeah,
what I saw.
Yeah, exactly. They got second and third chance opportunities. I think that really made a big difference, especially if Purdue's missing threes. That was kind of throughout the weekend. If they were missing, it seemed like they were getting some additional opportunities, some pretty good looks, which helped out. And obviously, Braden Smith had an excellent weekend. He's 1 assist away now from the all-time record. Set the record for the Big Ten tournament single game. He set a Big Ten tourney record for the entire tournament. And then he's 1 assist away now for the NCAA record across his career. 1 away from Bobby Hurley there, so should get that.
Yep.
Hopefully in the opening game.
Would have loved to see him break it in that number 41 jersey he had in the championship game, but
that would have been something, man. That 41 jersey would have gone down in Purdue lore if that would have been the.
And on the NIL store, I'm sure, like within an hour of the game, there would have been an awesome jersey on there.
Oh so. Yeah, that was pretty fun. It was kind of, they didn't say anything about it. He went to commercial break, and all of a sudden he come out, and I'm like, is that Braden Smith 41? Like, what just happened here? And they said something later about he had ripped his jersey, and so with the 41 jersey on him. So,
yep.
But yeah, I was pretty happy with the Boilermakers over the weekend. It's like a roller coaster with these guys, though.
Yeah.
I mean, like early season, again, looking really good. Kind of have this dip through the conference season, then look great in the conference tourney. I'm afraid of that roller coaster coming back down here for the tournament. I don't want to get my expectations up too high, but if they play like they did this past weekend, they're going to be a tough out for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a great time to get hot for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And just to win the Big Ten coming in as the 7th seed, was awesome. And vaulted them up to that 2 seed, which was cool to see too. I think, once we get into the bracket a little bit, just the fact that it mattered that they won that game.
It did. Yeah, that did help them. I think the SEC's complaining a little bit about like Vandy
Which I kind of agree.
Yeah, Vandy, had a nice run in the SEC tournament, got to the championship game, lost to Arkansas in the championship game, but they blew out Florida, who's, one of the other one seeds, which again we'll get into here in a little bit. But Vandy was playing really well. And
they were, I was pretty surprised when they came out.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, so that's one, maybe that's a surprise when we get in, to bracket talk here. But yeah, you talk about other conference tourneys, the SEC, so Arkansas winning that. Acuff playing really well. His guard play has been phenomenal down there. So yeah, I mean, between him and Braden Smith, you got a lot of really good guard play happening right now.
Absolutely.
Which is pretty awesome. So I'm trying to think of the other big game, Iowa State and Arizona. Did you see that one on Friday night?
I saw like parts of it. I saw the end.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So Mom Chilich from Iowa State was on fire. I think he was 8. Was he 8 of 13 from 3? 8 of 14 maybe. That guy couldn't miss at the end. Between him, I'm trying to remember the guy from Arizona. His name. It's an Italian name. Del Rosa, something like that. What's his name? Anyways, I'm able to think of the manager for is it DeRosa? No, that's the manager for the U.S. baseball.
Yeah.
It's something Deloso. Anyways.
Sounds right. I don't know.
Look it up while I'm vamping here. But he so between those two guys, it was like back and forth down the court. One would hit a 3, and then they go back down, they find Mom Chilich, he'd hit a 3. It was an incredible game between those two teams. You hated to see one of them. Somebody had to come out on top at the end, right? And Arizona hit a shot at the buzzer to win it. But man, what a game in I guess would have been the semifinals, right? Of the Big 12. So
yeah, semi.
So then Arizona went on and obviously won the Big 12.
Who's it you're looking for, Arizona?
Yeah. So the guy in Arizona, this guy down the bottom, Del Orso.
Oh, Del Orso. There he is.
So what did he go? Yeah, what did he hit in that game?
6 of 9 from 3.
Yeah.
10 of 14 from the field, 26 points. Yeah. Off the bench, too.
Off the bench. Yeah, exactly. He came off the bench and was just hitting everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was pretty impressive. So, fun weekend of...
yeah, definitely. Great basketball leading
into the tourney now. So,
Yep, and you mentioned Arkansas over Vanderbilt. Kind of a surprising, way for the SEC tournament to go. Again, to see Vanderbilt just blow the brakes off Florida. And it's something I've noticed, too, with the bracket is just that, like, that game could happen again. There's a few that could happen again, some rematches. So that'll be interesting. They could meet down the line in the Sweet 16 if they both win to that point. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else. Not really. I don't know. The Dayton-St. Louis game, that was a crazy ending.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
Yeah, wasn't that one where they hit a shot and then St. Louis went down and it was Avila hit that 3, right, to put them back ahead, and then Dayton had a shot to win it and missed.
Yeah, no, that was back and forth. St. John's winning the Big East pretty convincingly.
Yep.
I guess that's another big one, too.
That was another big one, yeah. St. John's did look really good in the Garden, and that place was hopping. When St. John's is good and they're playing there in the Garden, it's a pretty exciting atmosphere. And, they looked really good.
Yeah, which is weird because UConn just beat them by like 20.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, I remember that game, they didn't make a field goal after like 17 minutes.
Yeah.
Was it Ejiofor?
Is that how you say the guy's name for St. John's?
I think so.
Ejiofor. Yeah. He looked really good.
But that's a team I haven't gotten to see play a lot this year, so I'm excited to watch them in the tournament.
Yeah.
Like, I followed them, but haven't gotten a chance to sit down and watch a game.
I would agree. The Big East was down a little bit. I think we only got 3 teams in the tourney this year: UConn, St. John's, and Villanova. Right. Yeah. So they were down a little bit, and so there were games that were on periodically. I was checking on Creighton, see how they're doing, but I don't know. I didn't watch a whole lot either.
I feel like they weren't really on TV a whole lot.
Yeah, and it wasn't really that interesting. It was like, these teams aren't that great, and so it will be good to kind of see some of these teams, see how they stack up now in the tourney.
Definitely.
Yeah, see who's really should be in, and see who's got a shot. So,
all right, you got anything else from these games? Or you want to hop into the bracket?
Let's hop in.
All right, let's do it.
I think we're ready.
All right, well then let's just start let's just start in that top left in the East.
Okay.
We'll kind of go region by region, just talk about things that stick out.
Yep.
Maybe our Final Four pick out of that region.
Okay.
And at the end, too, we can talk about our own teams' matchups, too. I think that'll be fun.
Okay.
So let's just start in that East region. As far as your storylines, what sticks out to you here in the East region?
I mean, it's a stacked region. When you look at like blue bloods, a lot of these teams. So you have Duke in there. You've got St. John's is in there. Kansas, UConn, UCLA.
Yeah.
So 6 of these coaches in that region have been to a Final Four. They got 21 combined Final Four appearances between the coaches in that region, and 7 national titles. So
right. Yeah. No, it's crazy.
Duke as the one is like, sorry guys.
22 Final Fours between them.
Is it 22?
I wonder if someone got one like taken away at some like one of those Patino ones not count for some reason. I don't know.
He had a Kentucky team, right?
I wonder. Yeah. I don't know. Funny. I wonder why I have one more. That's interesting. Because I was taking some notes on this region.
We had to Google that one and see. Maybe AI told us,
But yes, the 7 total national championships, I think you just mentioned.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then the only 3 active coaches with multiple titles in Dan Hurley, Self, and then Patino.
Yeah. They each have 2. Is that right?
Yes, all 3 of them have 2. They're the only ones active that have more than 1. So that's pretty crazy.
Yep. I do think so. Yeah, Duke as the overall number 1.
Tough draw for sure.
Got a tough draw. Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean that region's pretty stacked with the coaches that are in there. It seems like those guys are always ready to go in March. So yeah, that'll be a tough one. And I do think like Ohio State, TCU, that 8-9. I mean, both those teams. Ohio State had a really good run in the Big Ten tourney too. Looked really good against Michigan. Took them down to the wire. TCU's been really hot lately.
Yeah, they almost beat Florida one game early on.
Yeah.
So those are 2. That's an interesting matchup. That's one where I look at it and I'm like, I think the winner of that game loses to Duke. So like when I fill out a bracket, I'm not all too concerned with it. But that's a hard one for me to pick for sure.
Yeah. No, I would agree. So that region is going to be tough. I wonder about like Louisville sitting down there.
That's one I wonder about. Yeah. That's a game that sticks out to me for sure. So Louisville, the availability of Michael Brown Jr. is going to be interesting. So he got hurt, I think, during the Big 12 tournament again, or maybe before there. They are 7-5 when he does not play, and 16-5 when he does play. And USF has just been hot lately. High scoring team there. So they play Thursday at 12:30. So just his availability, Michael Brown Jr. for Louisville, is going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah.
It's one of those first games, so not as much time, to recover, to get ready. And his availability is very much up in the air. And so I think that's when I'll be kind of watching coming down to game time.
Okay.
Because I do think if he's not ready to go, I do think I've got USF there. Maybe even if he is. I don't know. Louisville's a hard one for me because the ACC is another league that was kind of down this year. And so it's hard for me to know, compared to competition, how is Louisville really? And so for me, when I'm trying to go through and find, not just go chalk everywhere, that's a matchup I look at and I say, I could see USF winning that.
I would agree. So I did end up picking USF in this one. And part of it is there's a storyline there with USF's coach. I don't know if you saw any of that or not, but his dad, let me get this coach's name. Do I have his coach's name in here?
I know where you're going with this. I don't remember his name either.
Yeah, we'll find it here. But anyway, so his dad, the coach at USF, his dad has dementia and has never seen him coach before. And his dad, he's from Buffalo, and they happen to be going to Buffalo to play that first round game against Louisville. And so that's, it's one of those storylines where I feel like you get the Sister Jean, you get some of these just random stories in the NCAA tournament and, kind of tug at your heartstrings things. And that's one where I could see USF pulling that out with his dad watching him for the first time, and that being a pretty cool storyline there. So I picked USF in that. I think I saw it's like 36% of people have USF beating Louisville right now at 11 over 6.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of a popular one.
Brian Hodgson.
Hodgson.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
That's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned, what was the percentage you just said on that?
36% have USF over. Yeah.
That always scares me because when I find like those really popular upsets, it's almost like, I remember, was McNeese last year, 2 years ago? That was a super popular upset pick. I think they were playing Clemson or something.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't win that game. That was one where it was like everybody's picking this game. It's an upset everybody wants to see. That didn't happen. I do remember Michigan last year. Same kind of thing. They were playing one of those big West California teams, the one with the trident.
Yeah.
You see San Diego?
Maybe.
Whichever one. And same thing, popular. Like, I don't know. There's just, I always hesitate when I see it's the one that everybody's on. But again, like I feel like I went through before looking at some of these popular ones also, and that was one that stuck out to me for sure.
McNeese did beat Clemson.
Oh, they did beat them?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because
Right.
that was the kid with the boombox. That was, remember that? The kid with
wait.
the kid
Okay.
he was carrying around the boombox and whatever,
that,
and that was the McNeese kid, like the
maybe I'm
manager.
thinking of UC San Diego then.
Yeah.
Did Michigan win that game?
Yeah,
last
Michigan
year?
did win.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the game I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
McNeese.
McNeese was one that they upset Clemson. I was thinking like
They're back
I'm
in
sure
this
that
year.
happened. Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
But I don't
UC
think
San Diego.
Yeah, McNeese is back in, but I don't think that. I think it's a new coach and whatever. Yeah,
it's different there. But UC San Diego then. It was a 12-5 against Michigan.
Yeah,
which was weird because Michigan was coming off a Big Ten tournament win. Like, it was just a really weird.
Yep. Well,
win.
Yeah, to your point on the seeding earlier, that was kind of the knock last year on the committee was Michigan went in and won the Big Ten tournament and then didn't really get rewarded for it on the seed line. So
right, yeah.
A little different story this year, I think, from the Big Ten side, anyways.
Yes. Yep.
They did with Purdue, but yeah, out east. So I mean, it's just chock full of coaches and blue bloods. Kansas is one I've been talking about too. That I don't know which Kansas team's going to show up now.
I don't know. That was another hard one for me.
At Cal Baptist, I've seen them on late nights sometimes here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they've really got much. So I went a lot of chalk here, other than USF. I talked about them kind of upset in the first round, probably. I think that UCLA UConn matchup, if that happens in the second round, you talk about two fiery coaches.
Mm-hmm. That'll be something. Yeah.
That could be a crazy one there. Yeah.
UCLA is another injury one to watch. Mick Cronin says he expects to have both those guys back.
Mm-hmm.
But that'll be something to watch. Like, it sounds like they're going to play.
Yeah. And they're going way out east. So they're playing, in Providence? Or no, Philadelphia.
Yep.
I want to be in Philadelphia. So,
yes.
They'll be heading out east. So, time zones, and sure he'll be happy about that.
Yeah, I'm sure he's thrilled.
He complains about everything. But so that'll be an interesting matchup. And then, I mean, I've got it basically St. John's, Duke paired up, and then Michigan State, UConn. I swear Michigan State and Duke, I've got them paired up, and they play all the time. I don't know. Yeah. Between Izzo and it seems like Coach K, or now with Shire there. Like, I swear that Michigan State and Duke are always like in the same region.
I remember the one I remember is the Zion year. I know they met that year.
Yeah.
So yeah, Michigan State won that game.
Even if they're not in the same region, it seems like they're probably like paired up as one seeds on the same side or whatever, so they meet in the Final Four. But
they do, yeah.
But yeah, I got Duke coming out of that region, even with it being as stacked as it is. I honestly, from a trust standpoint, and I guess when I fill out these brackets, that's what what I'm looking at is like, who would I trust and who could I actually see coming out? And at the end, could I see some of these other teams? Maybe, but I think for me, Duke seems like the most likely, I guess, and just the way that they have been playing. They've been pretty much dominant here for the last month or so. And, you talk about the ACC being down, maybe, but they're winning all the games that they should be winning.
Right,
they did beat Michigan, who I think is one of the best teams here in the tourney.
Yep.
So, yeah, I've got Duke coming out. I think they're well battle tested, and I think that they're going to be tested through this region.
Oh yeah,
which would be tough. But I think that's one thing. A lot of these championship teams, they've got to go through some tests in the tournament and come out ahead of that. in order to get all the way through to the championship. So
Right. I went with Michigan State. I don't know, something about Duke. Like they've got some injuries also they're dealing with. Again, playing in the down ACC, I just think you mentioned they haven't been tested quite as much. I just think Michigan State's faced a lot more this year. I could see a lot of teams. I just think there's going to be there is so many big matchups in this region in general that like I think just so much can happen. St. John's could end up playing UConn again. There could be a Michigan State UCLA, which actually then St. John's UConn wouldn't happen. But like there can be some of these rematches from some of these conference tournaments.
yeah,
So yeah, we'll just kind of have to see.
that's a good point too. So we talked about 3 Big East teams got into the tourney. Two are in this region.
In that region,
Which is crazy. 2 of the high seeds, the top 2. Yeah, exactly. Villanova's in an 8 or a 9
they
slot.
Play Utah State.
Yeah, an 8. Yeah, they're an 8. And Utah State the 9. But that's kind of crazy too. That the committee put those 2 in the same region.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably could have spread that out a little bit too.
I agree.
I guess the only thing is maybe East wise, they think if they do make it to that Sweet 16, then it's a closer, almost like home game, not a home game, but like closer to their region.
Yeah.
And I do think they try to put teams kind of in their regions if they can. So that may be the only consideration there.
Yeah,
but that was kind of strange to put them.
Yeah. No, I agree. I kind of saw that, and that was weird.
Yeah.
Then we already. Yeah, I think another team sticks out to me just in this region before we move on is Furman. I don't know that they'll beat UConn. I think they're a team to watch. Might be kind of a fun game that maybe not quite as much of a blowout as people are thinking. Furman's a high-scoring team. I can't remember if I wrote anything down about these guys, but they score a ton of points. Obviously, they come from a smaller conference, so they're not playing UConn day in and day out. But that might be a fun game. We'll kind of see.
Yeah.
What happens there? But
the Paladins, right? UConn?
The Paladins.
Or the Furman?
Yes, that's right.
The old Paladins. Yeah, what's UConn's let's look up their defensive rating. So they're 11th. Their offensive rating, there's 30th in offense. So that will be interesting.
I think it'll be a closer game than I think UConn's favored by 20 plus in that game.
Yeah.
So I actually as an upset, that's one I'm considering, just going with Furman and then hoping UCLA can win that next game just to pick something and try and call a shot somewhere.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna. I think that's the only 15 or 16 I have. But if I'm gonna pick one, that's the one I'm gonna go with.
I'd love to see Hurley go out in the first round.
Well, me too. So that's part of it. I think
that'd be amazing. I could see him get teed up and get thrown out of the game against Furman. It would be fantastic. That would be awesome.
All right, I think that's about it for the East. So let's move down, kind of this bottom left on our sheet to the South region. Okay. So I think when I look at this, we already talked about Vanderbilt. They play McNeese, so there you go. There's McNeese. Definitely a low seed, for sure. Lower than what we thought after beating Florida by about 20 and playing Arkansas pretty close in the SEC championship. Just some weird seeding I feel like going on here. One I guess I wasn't super happy about was Nebraska being a 4 and Illinois being a 3. Both teams that kind of limped in a little bit, and Nebraska's won 2 more games than Illinois, and they play in the same conference. So I wasn't super thrilled about that one. I don't know how much it really matters.
Yeah, I don't know if it really matters, and I guess even like AP ranking wise, I know Illinois is ranked ahead of Nebraska. I know Nebraska was the 2 seed in the Big Ten tourney. Their conference schedule, they won more games, whatever, in conference. But
that said, I feel like I trust Illinois a little bit more. So
yeah, maybe. I mean, if they're hitting threes, for sure.
Yeah.
You talked about Vandy. I do think Vandy's looking really good. The other, we just talked about some of these could meet up again in Sweet 16, and that's where Vandy and Florida, they could see each other again here. I mean, and pretty likely. I would say it's pretty likely. I don't know. I've got them meeting each other.
I do too. I love my Huskers, but I just, like I said, I don't really trust them. And going, what I saw from Vanderbilt, watching them against Florida and then Arkansas, I don't know. I don't trust it, and I don't feel like I can pick it.
Well, I just saw, it's probably because Nebraska's never won a tournament game.
Yes.
So there's going to be a lot of pressure on those guys, but I did see the ESPN brackets that 13/4, Troy over Nebraska is the highest picked 13/4 right now.
I figured, yeah.
It's probably just, hey, people are like, it's Nebraska.
Yeah, no, I've heard I've heard, talk of that one.
Mhm.
And just, yeah, like I said, Nebraska started 20-0. They finished 6-6. So kind of limped in just a little bit. They did have some injuries, and the ring mass at the flu at one point. Like that, I don't know. They just kind of weren't quite as consistent towards the end. Their defense is still great, and I think going up against Troy from a smaller conference is still a great matchup.
Yeah, I think one of that you mentioned defense. I think that's really going to help these first round games. It's teams that are like shoot threes and like rely on that, and if they're not hitting shots, then that's going to cause problems. I feel like with Nebraska, like they'll be able to lock down defensively. They do shoot a lot of threes, but I think that they'll get enough offense, um, from other places to make up for it. I picked them pretty comfortably. Honestly, I was like, I don't know much about Troy. I haven't.
Right. No, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like it makes too much sense to pick Troy. I'm not going to go with them, but
Yeah.
I'm not picking Nebraska after the first round. I just, like I said, couldn't trust it, and if I'm wrong, I'll be happy I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
not one I was going to go with.
It's a tough second round matchup with them, with
Mhm.
Vandy possibly sitting there, depending on what they do first round versus McNeese. But I mean, if Vandy's there, as hot as they've been playing, that's going to be a tough matchup for Nebraska. So,
Yep.
the other one there, so Florida, obviously, we got them win the first round. That Iowa,
I've got Iowa there.
yeah, and I think that was one again where there's a lot of people picking Iowa. What was it?
Yeah, I
yeah,
didn't have quite as much of a problem with that one.
Yeah, 57%.
Iowa might be favored outright in that game, actually.
I think they are. Yeah, I think Iowa is favored.
Yes, Iowa is -2.5 right now.
Yeah, so it's close. I mean, those 8-9s, 7-10s are going to be pretty close.
Yeah.
But I do like Iowa, and that one's going to be a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
And then I guess I got to look to see how many 11s over 6s I have. But this is another one.
I picked VCU here. I just North Carolina, another banged-up team with
Yeah.
Caleb Wilson being out for the season. They have not stuck out to me. They're another team where part of it, I think, is the fact that I don't think I've watched them a single time because they just haven't been on.
Yeah.
But something about that just stands out to me. VCU is a team that it seems like has been coming on. I think they got hot coming in just a little bit. I mean, obviously they won their conference tournament, so that means something. I don't remember. And like I said, I don't know. This is one where I picked it, and I can't remember exactly what the thought was. But
yeah, sometimes there's like you see teams like VCU, and you're like, hey, I've seen them as an 11 seed make a run before. Like, yeah, so it's like, well, I could see this happening again. Sure, VCU over North Carolina first round as an 11. I mean, like, yeah, we've seen it before with Shaka Smart previously, and now, again, I haven't watched much of these guys either, but I think you get some things in your head, and you're like,
I agree.
I'm going to roll with it. So, yeah.
Well, and Shaka, hasn't had quite as much success as of late there at Marquette.
Yeah, this year was very down year for them. Yeah.
Yeah, but, like you mentioned, we've just seen it from VCU. Seems like maybe that could be ingrained in the program just a little bit.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll see. Penn's a fun team.
Penn is a
I
fun
wondered
team.
if you'd mentioned them. TJ Power there at Penn scored 44 in their conference championship. So he's actually a former 5-star. He went to Duke, then transferred to Virginia, and now he's at Penn. So kind of a weird track to end up there at Penn. He's there with Fran McCaffrey.
Yep.
So that's another interesting. He used to coach the Big Ten, coach for Iowa.
He'll know in Illinois.
Yes, so he will. So that's an interesting one. I still think Illinois comes out on top, but I feel like I'm not quite as comfortable with that one.
I picked the Illini, and honestly, initially I was thinking they could even potentially make a Final Four run. I backed off on that later. I thought differently.
I think Penn's going to be tougher than, if Illinois wins the second game, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I do. I feel like there's always one region where the bracket just gets crazy.
Yeah, that's this region.
This region, I do feel
outside of Florida at the 1 and then Houston at 2, I think Houston's pretty good.
Yeah.
I just don't really trust anybody in this region.
Yeah. Well, who's Houston? Yeah,
Houston's got Idaho, which I think they'll be fine.
Yeah,
and then they would play the winner of St. Mary's A&M second round. So St. Mary's could be a little bit more of a challenge, but again, I don't know.
Yeah.
Houston's been good enough that it doesn't really worry me. So I think for the first weekend, I expect Houston to get out of it.
Yep.
And Florida same way. But yeah, outside of that, this was definitely the hardest one.
I mean, right now, I was talking about some of those popular picks. That Troy over Nebraska is a popular one. Penn over Illinois is another popular one.
Yeah.
So I mean, if some of those came true, and then like I said, you got VCU potentially as an 11
Could
there.
have VCU play Penn in the second round.
I mean,
That'd be crazy.
McNeese, we just talked about one as a 12 over a 5. Vandy's hot, I get it, but sometimes people talk these teams up heading in. They may overlook somebody. So this is one region where like, could this region get blown up and just have a bunch of 12s and 13, double-digit seeds that are winning some of these games? Maybe in the middle, maybe those outer, the Floridas, Houstons, are maybe the ones that you could see coming through further because the middle of the bracket gets blown up. Who knows? But that was part of my reasoning, I guess. I did have Florida and Houston in the Elite Eight. More just a confidence thing. I've got Houston come out of this region. Just thinking, like, again, if that middle of the bracket gets kind of busted up with some of these upsets, I'm like, well, Houston and Florida are probably the most likely to get there. And then Houston's got basically a home. It's in Houston is where the regional is going to be played.
Right.
And so Florida got kind of hosed there. It
was actually interesting. Houston, after they lost last year, gave up the right to host earlier on.
Oh.
Which I didn't know. I heard that today.
Okay.
So that's kind of interesting where they gave up that right so they could have had home games earlier on. And so now they got to win for it to matter because they gave that up so that they could have those games in Houston later on. So that was interesting.
That is
found
interesting.
That out earlier.
Huh. Yeah, so that does definitely help them. So I got that. I actually have Illinois going on to the Sweet 16, which again, I think that Penn Illinois game that might be kind of fun.
I think that's a fun game too.
I mean, Illinois can score, Penn can score. Hammer the overs in that one. Those teams could just start just firing off.
8:25 p.m. game too.
That'll be fun.
Awesome.
Thursday night.
Yep.
So get ready for that one for some fireworks there Thursday. But yeah, that'll be a pretty fun, interesting region there. Like I said, could kind of get blown up, but I think I like Houston coming out. Experience, defense again, I think kind of carries them to the Final Four once again.
I also like Houston coming out of that one. And spoiler alert, this bracket I'm going to enter into our bracket pool, which you guys should join. We'll post the link again. That way you can see our full brackets and everything, compete against us. Houston, I think I'm going to have winning it all in this bracket I'm going to put in there. Just because, I don't know, it just seems like there's kind of some unfinished business, and they've got a great team put together there. You're going to have to beat them a million times. I just want to see it happen, I think, for Houston, and I think this could be the year they do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do have Houston in my Final Four in that region.
It'll be good.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll hit our West and Midwest regions. So, basically, as soon as I'm done saying this, we'll hit the West region for anybody listening. But there might just be kind of an awkward pause.
Sounds good.
Okay. Then on to the West.
On to the West. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Actually, before we kind of hop in, kind of full swing, I got this from Scott Van Pelt on his podcast, but all these teams have something in common. So Wichita State, Georgetown, Butler, Miami, Loyola Chicago, South Carolina, Oklahoma State, and Florida Atlantic. You want to know what it is? They have all...
I don't know.
Oh, okay. They've all been to the Final Four more recently than Arizona. So Arizona's the 1 seed up here in the West. So that's pretty crazy. They've had some good teams these last few years. Seem like they're always kind of up there. But they haven't gotten to a Final Four.
Yeah, that's crazy.
In a pretty long time. So something to watch. I think that this could be the year they do it. They've got a pretty good team there. Purdue's in this region too, so that's exciting.
Yep.
I think to me, hold on, getting my stuff pulled up. I don't know. I think there's a few things that stick out. Again, I think this region I was a little bit more chalked than some of the other ones. But the NC State Texas game, that play-in right there, is something that sticks out to me. Which I guess anybody listening is going to know how that game went. We're watching it right now. It's halftime.
Yep.
But whoever comes out of that game, like I'm just kind of waiting to see. Like I said, it's halftime right now. So like if somebody goes on a run in the second half, if someone comes out looking, like they're a strong team, maybe they've got some energy, I could see the winner of that game beating BYU. Like I said, I'm kind of waiting on the result of that game to see how I feel about it. I don't know how you feel, but
I have BYU winning, but do they still have some injuries? Wasn't the
yeah. Well, I mean, they lost. What was that guy's name for the year?
I don't remember.
There's
But
been a lot of injuries.
I feel like they got DeBonsa though. I
Right.
don't know.
Seems like they'll probably show up in big moments too.
I'm hoping. I guess, or that's what I'm expecting from my bracket. I've got them moving on.
Yeah,
so.
and like for the time, I think that's what I've got down to. I'm going to go with BYU, but at the same time, like I said, I am kind of interested in this playoff game or the playing game. We watched Texas about a week and a half against Oklahoma. That game that went into overtime. That was pretty crazy. They ended up losing that game, but it was they just showed a lot of fight in a game that mattered a lot against a pretty solid team that did just miss the tournament. So
yeah,
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I agree.
Based on the results of this game.
Yeah, that one will be interesting. It is like a 2-point game right now, I think, at halftime, so it's close. So, and I do feel like there is always like an 11 seed that wins one of these playing games and does make a little bit of a run.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the one that
could be.
look at here.
Well, we've talked about VCU. We talked about South Florida. Seems like we're talking about a lot of these.
A lot of the 11 seeds, yeah.
Yeah, there's some exciting things going on there.
That might be the new 12 over 5.
Maybe
11 over 6.
Seems like people want to talk about this 12 over 5s. I mentioned UCSD earlier against Michigan.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe 11 and 6, which isn't quite as much of an upset, but
yeah, I think I was looking earlier. So 12 seed beats a 5 seed about 35% of the time. So figure maybe one of these 12 over 5s is going to happen a year, possibly 2. So yeah, I do like Arizona here as well. I do think it's kind of a fun matchup possibly for them if Utah State gets to the second round. Utah State is top 30 in efficiency. They got a pretty good backcourt. So that could be a fun little matchup there in the second round if they Utah State wins their first round against Villanova. And I do think like that matchup potentially in the Sweet 16 if Zona gets through, and then you got Wisconsin and Arkansas there. That'll be a fun if both those Wisconsin and Arkansas. That'll be a really good game. Really good matchup there, and even if obviously one of those gets to play Arizona in the Sweet 16. I think that could be a pretty fun matchup too. Arizona and Wisconsin have a history from the Elite Eight, I think, back maybe 15 years ago or so. They had, I think, back-to-back years they played each other. So there's a little bit of history there. So that'll be kind of interesting if it is Wisconsin, Arizona. That is what I got in my bracket, is those two meeting up in the Sweet 16. I've got Arizona coming through there.
Yeah, it's also what I've got.
Yeah. I do think Utah State, that's one that's kind of fun. I saw something with them. They had a, you know how the schools do like the whiteouts, or like sometimes they do where they have different the sections or whatever. So Utah State's the Aggies. They did a cow out. Okay. So they did like spots, or like, so they had a white and they had, it was kind of fun. So they had like little black spots in the stands of the student section or whatever. And then the band wore pink as like udders. Okay. For the so kind of an interesting, I don't know. Yeah. They're kind of fun. So I'm kind of rooting for Utah State maybe to at least win first round and then make it interesting against Arizona.
I like Utah State coming off, again, a conference title, the only team from the Mountain West that made it in. Nova's just like, I don't know. They didn't go and, do anything crazy in the Big East, kind of just barely made it in there. So, I like Utah State coming in a little bit hot.
I don't hear a lot of people talking about Villanova winning that game either, so it's kind of interesting. I think a lot of people are picking Utah State. Arkansas up there, ACUF, we talked about him a little bit earlier, obviously in the SEC tournament, leading them to the championship. I heard a stat earlier, too. He's the first player to lead the SEC in scoring and assists since Pete Maravich. It's been a while since they've had a player, in the SEC do that. So he's a heck of a player, heck of a guard. Very guard heavy, I think, in this West region.
Definitely.
With, Arizona, and then Wisconsin, Arkansas. Lots of really good guard play. And then obviously you get down to the bottom of the bracket. You got Purdue there with Braden Smith about to set the assist record. So, you got a lot of really good guards here, I think. The bottom of the bracket, I've got Purdue coming through, Gonzaga. We talked a little bit about BYU. Gonzaga's an interesting one too. I think they've got who was it?
They've got an injury. It's Huff.
Yeah, he might be coming
it
back
sounds
though.
like-
Right?
Yeah, so he's been out now for a while.
Mhm.
The most recent report kind of has him now. He was out. He was kind of running, shooting. So like he's very close.
Okay.
It's kind of sounded like he might not play in this first weekend. So that wouldn't be another one to watch. Where, kind of monitoring it as close as you can till when the brackets locked down at I think 11:15 Central.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
on
keep an eye
Thursday.
that one.
Yeah, so definitely keep an eye on that one because that's one where I don't think they'll struggle with Kennesaw State regardless, but I do think it could make a difference. BYU ends up winning that game.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So yeah, that'll be an interesting one.
I think Purdue. I mean, I'm actually really happy with the
I
draw
think
that
Purdue
they
got
got.
an awesome draw.
They did really get a good look there as a 2,
Mhm.
moving all the way up to the 2 line. The only thing is playing in St. Louis.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Yeah, potential matchup with Mizzou in the second round if Mizzou can get past Miami. They're 10 seed, but they got pretty much a home.
They do,
Home
yeah.
court.
Well, they're the 10 seed playing Miami's the 7, traveling over 1,000 miles to go play the lower seed,
Yeah,
almost at home.
it was
So that's
kinda
pretty
wild.
crazy. That was another weird one with the committee where it was like, what are we doing here? This isn't how this should be. There's other sites like could have seen them in I think there's some games in San Diego. There's just places where it'd be a little bit more neutral-ish. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was just odd. So yes, if Missouri does win that game, it could be basically a home game for them against Purdue.
Yep. Yeah, so that'll be kind of interesting to see if Purdue can make it out of there. I did have them coming out, and then I had them beating Gonzaga in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I do think Gonzaga to me is the weakest of the 3 seeds.
I would agree with that. And I thought that too when the brackets got released Sunday. I was like, and Purdue got a good draw, and Gonzaga. I guess if Huff comes back, maybe that'll make a difference. But I think they are probably the weakest 3, and so it bodes well for Purdue, I think there. But I got Purdue in the Elite 8. I've got Arizona coming out though. I've said it for a while now. I do feel like they're one of the top teams, and so I just feel like they're very consistent. They don't really. I know they had a couple losses. They lost to Kansas, but it was at Kansas. But they just don't. They're very. Yeah,
They're just really complete, right? Like they're
Yeah.
big down low. They've got some huge guys. They can hit from deep.
Yep.
Play some great defense too. One of the best defensive teams.
Yeah.
The only thing they do struggle with free throws. A lot of these higher seeds actually this year struggle with free throws, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Getting into some of these close games. So that is one thing they struggle with. But outside of that, they're just well-rounded team.
Yeah. What are they? Defensive, like you said, top.
I don't know exactly where they're ranked.
3rd. Oh, my screens are all messed up here. They are. Arizona is 3rd defensive rating and 5th offense.
Is
So-
free throws on there too?
No,
No, the one you're looking at.
I don't think I have it on the one I'm looking at here. So
They're not good. I don't know exactly where they're ranked.
yeah,
but
yeah. But I got them coming out, like you said, most consistent team. I think well-rounded. Again, a lot of my predictions are around like who do I see as who do I feel most comfortable? Probably less risky from my end, right?
yeah.
And so I think Arizona probably has the best shot coming out there of the West region. Purdue's got a shot though.
They definitely do. Yeah.
Sometimes I don't like picking them either because if I have them and they lose, then I lose on both sides. I lose in
That's
my bracket,
right,
and I
yeah.
lose on the other end too. So if they make it out, great. I'll be thrilled.
Exactly.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's about it for West region.
Yeah.
Moving down then to Midwest, kind of in our bottom right corner here on this paper. That'll be our last region to kind of wrap it up. So Michigan's the 1 seed in this region, coming off the loss in the Big Ten championship game. But up till then, very dominant season. Lost to just Duke and Wisconsin were their only 2 losses going into that. I think so. I think there's a couple interesting things. Miami, Ohio, and SMU play Thursday or Wednesday night tomorrow for that playing spot against Tennessee. So that'll be another interesting one. SMU's favored by I want to say like 8.5. It's something around there.
Yep.
So that might just be kind of a fun game just to see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't really know much about SMU to be honest with you. Haven't gotten to watch them at all. I thought it would be fun if Miami, Ohio had to play Auburn in that game. That was like those two bubble teams people were arguing about. That would have been fun. But yeah, so that's just kind of a fun. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
They kind of get a little home game there too. Playing
they did Dayton. Yep.
So that'll be a fun matchup. I'm rooting for Miami.
I agree.
Come through. To go undefeated in the regular season, obviously, it's a tough loss for them in the opening round of their conference tourney. But I'll be rooting for them to make it through.
Mm-hmm.
So the other interesting thing I think on this side, so Alabama, I think Aiden Holloway. So he's been arrested. On felony drug charges. So he's their second leading scorer for Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
The last I heard, I think he's not going to play.
He didn't travel with them, so it sounds like he's not going to play.
So I think it was like back and forth yesterday, and then today I think I heard like no, like you said, he didn't travel.
To see if that line moved at all. Actually, it's moved towards Alabama, so they opened at -10.5 or -11.5 now.
Yeah,
which is weird. First round they play Hofstra, which doesn't worry me all that much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. But second round, they'll play the winner of Akron Texas Tech, which I think is another interesting game. And that, I think, is where maybe they're in trouble without Holloway.
Yeah.
I think if they lose him, say, before the SEC tournament, and they have a little more time to figure out an identity without him, it's a different story. But, this is just such, a spot where what are you going to do, right? They don't have, a game or two to figure it out. This is it. And now, it could be a struggle, too, matchup-wise for the other team, Hofstra. Like I said, you don't know what they're going to come out in. So that'll be interesting too. But I do think they'll be fine for that game. I think they've just got enough talent on the roster.
Speedy Claxton at Hofstra played there back in the early 2000s or late 90s. Yeah, and he's their head coach. So he's one of these guys. Again, we talked about McNamara from Siena, also as a player at Syracuse. Speedy Claxton's another one that was in the tourney with Hofstra 20, 30 years ago, whatever. And so kind of fun having some of these guys that I saw play and now are coaching these teams. So it'll be kind of fun if he does get the upset versus Bama in the first round. I do actually have Akron beating Texas Tech.
I do too. So that's another one. Yeah, that one sticks out to me. So Texas Tech also dealing with an injury. So Christian Anderson got hurt in the Big 12 tournament. All-conference guard, averages 18.9. So that's huge. Very up in the air, I think it sounds like, as far as whether he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
But if he is not ready to go, that's huge. Again, same thing like with Bama, where you don't have time to figure it out, especially with him being so questionable. Are you going to have him or are you not? I do think that's a struggle if they don't have him. That's, a guy who's going to stretch the floor who's not going to be there. And Akron is the shortest in the field. Sound familiar to you, Fairleigh Dickinson?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another one where it's I don't know, you wouldn't think a short team's going to beat, a bigger team, Fairleigh Dickinson, Purdue, but I don't know. It's just a matchup problem. It's a weird thing. So they are the shortest in the field, and their top 10 in threes made per game with around 11. So that's interesting too. They score a ton of points.
Yeah.
Obviously came out of the MAC, not Miami, Ohio. And they've just been killing teams. I think they've won or lost one game in the calendar year or something like that. So, they've been scoring tons of points. And I think with Texas Tech down, Christian Anderson, that could be an upset spot.
They're the most popular 12 over 5.
And that's the only thing that scares me.
Yeah, exactly. So that I would agree with that. But that is the only 12 over 5 that I took. Again, I had said just a little bit ago, it's either one, maybe two 12 over 5s. This is the one that I've got where I do think just the timing of everything with Texas Tech, with the injuries that they've had. Akron, it's going to be a matter of if they can hit from 3, right? If they're hitting and they're on fire,
they can win that game.
They can win that game, exactly. So that's just one of those where, hey, it's a hot team. It's a team in Texas Tech that's down right now with some injuries, and
and the winner of that game plays the winner of Alabama Hofstra. So again, kind of watching, see what happens. Obviously, won't be able to change things, but I think I'm going to go with Akron 2 over Alabama in that, or I have Alabama. But I think I'm going to take Akron to win another game, go on a little bit of a run.
Nice.
It's a fun pick. And I don't know. Like I said, I just think Alabama's going to be a little bit different, or a lot different, I guess, than Holloway.
Yeah.
try and pick one of these upsets here.
So the Zips.
Yeah,
Having the Sweet
that's
16
right.
for you, huh?
That's
Yeah.
what I'm going to go with.
The other fun one I think up there, you got St. Louis with Avila.
Yep.
I think he could give Michigan some trouble if they get past Georgia in the
And
first.
I've got them. I think I picked every 9.
I might have too. I picked a lot of the 9s. Did I pick them all?
I think I picked them all.
I think I picked all the 9s as
Yeah.
well. So, but yeah, so if they make it out of there, I think he could, stretch Michigan's bigs out a little bit.
No, for sure.
That'll be an interesting matchup if St. Louis does get to the matchup with Michigan.
Yeah, and Michigan's another team coming in a little banged up. So
Yeah. So that'll be a fun one. Bottom of the bracket. Iowa State, obviously the tough loss against Arizona in the conference tourney. When they're scoring though, man, that's a good team. Yeah, that's a really good team. Very tough team. Virginia is a 3. I'm not super thrilled of.
I wasn't sold until I watched them. I think in the ACC tournament,
Versus Duke.
up till then, I had seen the game earlier in the season, or not earlier. It was really only a couple weeks ago, where they played like a non-competitive game against Duke, lost by like 20.
Yeah.
But then the ACC tournament, like they looked a lot more complete, a lot better. Seems like they're a well-coached group too with Odom there. So I don't know. I got some. I feel like I built some confidence in them going forward. So we'll see.
I have them going through the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. Honestly, because I think I'm not as confident in Tennessee either.
I'm not. No.
Yeah, and so I do think watching Virginia the other day versus Duke, I have them going through versus Iowa State. Very chalky down here too, I guess, for my end. I know you got the Zips going through, but I've got Bama and Michigan on the top side, and then Michigan and Iowa State playing in the Elite Eight.
I did take Santa Clara over Kentucky too.
Okay.
Just a team watching the West Coast Conference Final. Played Gonzaga pretty close. Ended up losing. I think it was less than 10.
Yeah.
But it was a really competitive game up till the last like 10 minutes. And so they just impressed me. And I think they're just kind of an under the radar sort of a team. Kentucky, I don't know, to me just gets a little bland. Like, I don't know. They're always in, and they've had some great teams in the past, but it just seems like this year's been a year where they haven't done a whole lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's kind of fun.
Kentucky's one of those again where I think they got the highest nil spend out of any team. 22, 25 million, something like that.
Kansas State was up there.
Yeah.
Didn't go well.
No, it did not go well. So it's an interesting one where, if they lose to Santa Clara in the first round, Pope might be on the hot seat there.
It might be, yeah.
He could have stuck around BYU, had Devonsa this year, had a little more success at BYU. Obviously, going back to his alma mater, Kentucky, I get it, but there's a lot of pressure there.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, it's like a blue blood. Like, you got to have success there. There's an expectation.
Yeah.
So
going out in the first round against Santa Clara is not going to look good for him. So,
no.
So that'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on. But yeah, I've got Michigan coming out here. Iowa State, actually, I thought this was interesting. I didn't realize this. They've never been to a Final Four. I
Really?
don't know if you realize that.
So I
or
actually
not.
picked Iowa State to go to my final.
There you go. So this might be the year that they get through. And, I talked about Momcilich. He's a heck of a scorer. That guy gets going. You never know what's going to happen. I just feel like they do get a little bit streaky, where if he's on, it's great.
do, yeah.
If he's not, then, they can get into some trouble there. They blew Purdue out when they played them because they were on. But again, I think I talked about Michigan and Arizona as kind of two of my favorites this year. And so I've got Michigan coming out, and they'll play Arizona kind of interestingly in the Final Four there. So if they make it through.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Those would be a couple, big physical teams. That'd be a fun matchup, honestly.
Yeah. That is interesting. The physicality, like the Big Ten tournament was very physical.
It was. Especially that championship, they were letting them play.
They were. And so the first couple rounds, like the Nebraska Purdue game, the refs, I actually didn't think that was a very well officiated game on either side. There were some calls going either way that it was like, that's just not good. They were calling a lot of ticky-tack stuff, I felt like, early on in the tournament. And then, by the championship game, they were letting a lot of stuff go. So that what plays a factor, some of the officiating, depending on how these teams are used to being reffed. The Big Ten's very physical. So if they get into some of these matchups and, they try to play physical and they get, fouls called on them that they're not used to having called, that'll be kind of an interesting thing to keep an eye on. So,
yeah, well, for sure.
Yeah. Well, Venezuela just beat the U.S. in the World Baseball.
Oh, darn it. I wasn't really paying attention.
I missed it, but it looks like they just beat them 3-2, unfortunately. So,
Well,
bum.
it was a fun ride to the championship, though.
I guess.
It was cool to get there.
It's
Beat Canada.
Yeah,
That's what
at least we
really
beat
mattered
Canada.
Couldn't lose that game.
At least we beat Canada. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Some
So anything
baseball
else
talk
in the...
today.
Yeah, there's our baseball talk. That's right. Anything else in the Midwest there?
No, I don't think so. Like I said, I've got Iowa State coming out,
Okay.
but I do like Michigan there, too.
So who's your Final Four then?
Michigan State, Houston, Arizona, and Iowa State.
Okay.
So I had a little bit more fun, just trying not to pick kind of some of the main favorites. And I do feel good about it,
Yeah.
So, who's your Final Four?
So I've got a little more chalk. Duke, Houston, Arizona, and Michigan.
Okay.
I usually don't go this chalky, but I do feel like last year having all number 1 seeds in has pushed me a little more like, maybe that is the norm now. The only 2 I guess I've got coming out is Houston,
Right.
out of the region that they're pretty much a home team for. And then I've got Duke and Michigan in the championship, kind of a rematch of what we just saw a month ago. This time I've got Michigan coming out on top. I've actually got Michigan winning my whole thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a little more Big Ten biased. I watch
Maybe.
a lot of Big Ten basketball.
Well, I think, like you mentioned, it could depend a little bit on the officiating. I think Michigan is a little bit more used to playing that physical kind of style.
Yeah.
So that could be interesting.
They're big. They've got, I think they're the only team in the country that starts 3 guys over 6'9".
Okay.
And they can play pretty much anywhere on the court. You saw taller players, bigger players guarding Braden Smith the other day versus Purdue. So they can stretch the floor. They can play wherever. They're very athletic. I just feel like they weren't shooting very well. First half they were against Purdue, and then second half they weren't as much, and that's what is maybe going to get them into some trouble. But I think offensive efficiency, defensive wise, they're a very strong team. So they've got the big down low. They've got good guard play. Like you said, they do have an injury to their backup point guard, but I like them coming out.
Yeah, no, I don't mind that. I'm going with Houston over Arizona in my championship. So, a couple teams who've kind of struggled to get it done. I already mentioned Arizona not being able to get to the Final Four, and then Houston just not being able to finish the job the last few years. So I think that would just be kind of a fun matchup. Big 12 teams meeting again in Indy. So yeah, I'm going to go with that. I just think that'd be a fun matchup to see.
Yeah. The one I want to see is Purdue, obviously, playing in Indy.
Yeah.
That would be great if they get to Indy.
Basically a home game.
In the Final Four.
Yeah.
But I can't do it. I can't put them down.
No, I know.
Yeah,
well, and like you said, then if they do make it, at least you got that win. And if they don't, maybe your bracket's still alive.
Exactly. It's kind of what I'm hoping for here, rooting both sides of it. So.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I kind of said we would talk about our own teams individually at the end here. I feel like we kind of did a lot of that. You have anything else on Purdue?
No, I don't think so. Trying to see if there's anything else. The one thing, I did talk about some of the chalk more, I guess, in the Final Four. And I was reading up. It is, 75% of the time, the Final Four teams are going to be the 1 through 3 seeds. I know we've seen some of the 5 seeds historically, sometimes an 11 seed got through or whatever. But
UNC was a 9 right, a few years ago.
Yeah.
FAU, Miami.
Yep. And that was the year that, was it Fairleigh beat Purdue?
Was that the
Or was
same
that?
year?
It was one of those that beat Purdue that UNC ended up getting out of that region. But yeah, so that's probably maybe less risk on my end going with some of those teams. But we'll see. It should be fun.
Yeah,
Always
for sure.
a fun week. There's going to be some chaos.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And like I said, I feel like it's in that South region. I feel like that South region can just get blown up.
There's so many different ways I think that can go.
If it's another region, great. I kind of love the insanity and the chaos. But I do feel like that South region might just get a little bananas there. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then I guess as far as Nebraska, I already mentioned I'm picking them for one game. That'll actually break their single season win total record at the school. So they're at 26 right now. So to break that, they need one more win and to be the first tournament win ever. So it's a big game, lots of pressure, like you mentioned. But I want them to get that win, and then after that, they'll hit Vanderbilt. I just don't see that going their way. So yeah,
Vandy's going to be a tough one if Vandy gets past.
I guess if they
Nice, right? But yeah, I think Hoiberg's going to have the guys ready to play though. I really do. I think the coaching is really good. I talked about the defense earlier. I think their defense is very strong. I think that's going to bode well for
got some championship DNA from that. They win last year, the Crown.
The Crown. Yeah, the Crown champions are the
That's right. They know how to win.
One and only Crown champions. So
that's right.
They got that going for them. Nobody else can claim the Crown championship.
They better be hanging up in the arena somewhere.
Yeah, they should put a banner up, man.
Exactly.
Crown champions. Are they even doing the Crown this year?
I don't know.
I think that was just a one and done thing.
I think it might have been because I called off the CBI. Did you see that?
I did see it's no CBI this year.
Yes, that was crazy. NIT is going right now, but
yeah,
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about the Crown. So
I think they might just be the one and only champions of the Crown. They
Perfect.
Can just
keep that.
Yeah, hang the banner, man. Nobody else can ever claim it. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's about it then for our bracket predictions.
Yep.
Kind of talk there. Like I said, join up on the bracket pool. Post that link again.
Yeah, put that link.
See a lot of people in there.
Yep.
That'll just be a fun time. And then you can, like I said, check out any of the picks we didn't talk about too in there.
Okay.
All right, then we'll go 2 minutes in the box. As we kind of wrap up here, we'll hit that segment still. So what do you got?
Yeah, 2 minutes in the box. I'm gonna go. I'm not even sure exactly what to put in the box. Maybe the gimmicky courts. So we talked about I talked about the court the Big 12 was going to display with the LED lights and all this cool stuff they're going to have on it. And we're kind of, I wasn't sure how that was going to turn out. It didn't turn out well. No. So they played the first 2 rounds, maybe they played on that.
I think so, yeah.
First couple days, and then decided, this is a bad idea. I think the players complained with it being a little slick, and it didn't function quite as well as what a normal court would. So they scrapped that. I thought, there were some cool things that they did at the timeouts. They had some things kind of going on the court. Somebody hit a three. They put light up the 3-point line. But it was a little weird. It was a little weird. And I guess the Big 12, I don't know why they have the gray court.
I don't know. It just looks.
It's a bad look.
Stupid. Yeah.
Every year, so they put the wood court down after they took the other one out or for the remaining games. They still have that gray, and it just, again, it looks weird. I don't get it. The Big 12, they're trying too hard. Like, they got some great teams in there. Like, they don't need to try that hard to
I agree.
get attention. Like, just play the game on a regular court.
Yep, exactly. So, yeah, no, I agree. And it just seemed like a lot of the teams that were complaining were the ones that lost. Like Texas Tech, I think, had a problem with it. Christian Anderson had gotten hurt.
Yeah.
So I think they complained a little bit. So that was interesting. But, yeah. Hopefully that's not something that kind of sticks.
Yeah.
We keep seeing. Because I don't know. It looks weird. I don't get the problem with just a wood court. So
I don't either. I'm putting the Big 12 in the box. Maybe that's what I need to put in.
I think,
crazy courts. Yeah, they're crazy courts.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to put Bruce Pearl in the box. So it was kind of fun watching the selection show Sunday because he was on there, in that group talking about the games. And every time, you'd have a new team from the bubble make it, you'd be like, oh, this isn't good for the bubble. He'd kind of been lobbying on X for his son's team, Auburn, to make the tournament at one game over 500. Pretty much their entire case for being in was just we beat Florida that one time, like a month ago. So I don't know. They just outside of that, look, that's great. That's a great win, but you also lost 15 games and barely finished. And I think I'd heard that there's never been a team that finished one over 500 that made the tournament at large.
Yeah.
There's been some that have finished 2 games over, but never one that's finished 1 game over 500. So yeah, they were sitting right there on the bubble. I don't know. I don't feel bad for them at all.
I don't either.
I don't know. You lost 15 games.
Yeah, win your games.
So yeah, putting Bruce Pearl in the box for lobbying for Auburn to make it in there. The son that he'd placed in there as head coach.
It was kind of funny. They were at the end of the selection show or whatever. They did say something. to him kind of about it, not like directly, but I could
Yeah.
tell they're kind of hinting at it, and he was like, yeah. It was just like you said, it's kind of funny to watch him squirm in his seat. Like these other teams are getting in, and like, yeah, your son's not going to make it.
No, it was funny that he had to sit there and watch him slowly call him out.
Yeah, as much as you lobbied, it's not going to happen.
Nope, not happening. Maybe they can go win the NIT.
Yeah, the NIT actually has some pretty good matchups in it. Honestly, there's some pretty good games. So, in between, that'll be kind of the fun thing in between the NCAA tournament games to catch some of the NIT games.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be kind of fun. We'll keep an eye on those too.
Mm-hmm. All right. We're going to skip over the 2-minute drill for today just because we spent some more time with the brackets. Going down then to From the Stands. I think you had something.
I did. Yeah, I jotted down. Shout out to John, your uncle, my brother. He does actually, he feeds a lot of stuff to us throughout the week. And I'll be honest, there's so much stuff that I read and see and people sending things. I forget who sends, what to us. But this was an interesting one that he was asking about the bubble teams. So, we've got Texas and NC State playing now. You've got Miami of Ohio playing SMU tomorrow night as bubble teams. But then you've got the 16 seeds also playing games to get into the tournament. Curious your thoughts on like the playing game. Should it be the bubble teams, or should you also have these 16 seeds, or just 16 seeds playing to get into the tournament?
I think it's more fun for it to be the bubble teams, honestly. I just think it adds to the storyline more of like, hey, these teams were barely in. Let's see them play each other for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, like I feel like Miami and Auburn would have been a fun game.
Yeah.
Not that I just said that I didn't think Auburn belonged in, but that would have been fun. Just kind of for the storyline of it. And I don't know. I think there's something to those 16 seeds. Like, yeah, they're down there all the way for a reason, but like they did win their conference, and they got an at-large bid. So I think it's a little unfair to make them go and play another game just to get in, which also means that one of those other schools isn't gonna. I mean, like they were in, but they weren't.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I just think it's more fun to watch these bubble teams that finish like, maybe 5th or 6th in a conference. Play it out.
See, I feel the same way, where it's like they're on the bubble, they're playing to get into the tournament. That's what these playing games should be for. I feel like these 16 seeds kind of get hosed to like just go to Dayton, and they get one little game to like play into the actual tournament. Where like, let them go play the one seed. And I don't know. I don't like that making those guys kind of play in, if you will, to get into the big pool. Because, you fill out these brackets, like nobody even considers those other games.
Right.
And so I kind of feel for those teams that are 16s that won their conference and then like they get sent to Dayton to go play. Not that Dayton's a bad place, but I'd just like to see just the bubble teams playing in those playing games. So
I agree.
So that's all I had there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't really have anything there. We'll hit extra innings real quick just because like there has been some more sports going on. So we hit the World Baseball Classic already. That was kind of what I was going to mention. That was fun to watch. Obviously, the United States had a good run, beating the Dominican Republic, which I wasn't sure if they were going to be able to pull off. Having Paul Skeens pitching there was definitely a big part of that. So yeah, it was fun to watch them. It was fun to just watch a bunch of like all-star guys play together and like, playing a game that mattered, play for the country. And I was just happy we beat Canada. So
no, I agree.
Yeah.
Did you see was it Juan Soto said like basically kind of the same thing that Canada was saying after we beat them in hockey, like, oh, you know who the best team was, out here or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
whatever.
we beat the Dominican Republic, and then it was kind of like, well, yeah, but you saw who the better team was.
Better team was the team that won.
The scoreboard, exactly.
Yeah.
And now Venezuela beats the U.S. 3-2. Kind of an exciting comeback. Bryce Harper hitting the 2-run home run to tie it up. I did too. I was like, well, maybe they're going to get the bats going here. They had not had runners in scoring position since the 4th inning of the Dominican Republic game. So even that game was very low scoring.
Mm-hmm.
This one low scoring, 3-2. Venezuela ends up winning. So, tough loss for the U.S. to lose this one. But who cares about the World Baseball Classic?
Right.
That's what
not too happy with Japan for getting Seiya Suzuki hurt.
Yeah,
we might start the season on the injured list, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, not good for the Cubs.
Nope. You were gonna hit some NFL, right?
I was. One other thing I'm going to note there, injury-wise, hockey, Draisaitl. Leon Draisaitl is out for the season as well. So he's got a
lower body injury. I always love when hockey just gives a upper or lower
That's always
body.
what they say. Yep.
Yeah, so
you never know.
but he's out for the season, so that's going to be tough for the Oilers. Connor McDavid, we talked about him not winning the big one, and now he's got
Not good.
his Batman Robin, duo or
Right.
whatever there that is going to be out for the season. So Draisaitl's out, and then you talked about the NFL. So a lot last week. We recorded Tuesday. We just found out about Max Crosby not getting traded to the Ravens. So then they went out and got Hendrickson for
the exact same deal.
exact
that Max
same
Crosby
deal.
had been signed to the very next morning.
Yeah.
So that's a little weird. After failing him for a physical for an injury they knew he had.
That was really interesting. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, maybe a little conspiracy, possibly. But going in division too, that's kind of interesting too. And go from the Bengals to the Ravens. So that'll be a fun matchup. Those guys, a couple times a year playing each other.
Yep.
Lots going on there in free agency though. I guess just quick rundown. Quarterbacks. So you got Tua at the Falcons, Kyler Murray with the Vikings, which we expected to happen.
Right.
Malik Willis and the Dolphins. Justin Fields.
To the Chiefs.
Went to the Chiefs. Yep. Geno Smith to the Jets. Back home where he came from. Trey Lance re-signed with the Chargers. So not a quarterback shuffles. And then wide receiver wise, I thought it was interesting. Mike Evans going to the Niners from the Buccaneers. So Niners.
Yeah. And they just signed Christian Kirk as well.
So they stocked up on receivers. So Mike Evans, Christian Kirk going to the Niners, Marquise Brown. So Marquise Brown going to the Eagles.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, and then we just found out today. So Jalen Waddle got traded and a 4th round pick to the Broncos for a 1st, 3rd, and a 4th this year. To the Dolphins. So Malik Willis, we just talked about him going to the Dolphins. He's left with nothing.
Devon A-Chain is the wide receiver one.
Exactly. He's RB1, WR1.
You were just looking before, and Malik Washington is the wide receiver one on that roster.
Yeah.
So
they really have nothing. So
I do not expect that to work.
Not sure what's going to happen down there. New coaching staff.
You bring in, like we kind of expected Malik Willis to go there. You bring in Jeff Hafley, Packers defensive coordinator, and then player development guy is their GM now. And then, but who they bring in offensive coordinator? Somebody random, isn't it?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look now. Somebody we would know, and I forget. But keep going.
Yeah. So, the Dolphins again. You think maybe they were like tanking, but then signing Malik Willis. I don't know what's going on down there.
Bobby Slowick. Okay, this is actually not as bad.
Slowick's good. Yeah,
He's
from
good.
the Texans.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that'll be interesting. Obviously, the Dolphins are going to be having to look for receivers. I think in the draft, more than likely. So we'll see what happens there. The other big splash, I think, was Kenneth Walker going to the Chiefs. So
Right. Yep.
Super Bowl MVP.
Too happy about that one.
Nope, I knew you wouldn't like that one so much. And then the Eagles did keep Dallas Goedert, so that was a big one. Yeah, I think those were the main. Daniel Jones staying with the Colts.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, kind of since the last time we recorded, if there's anything huge. But really not. I mean, there's been some smaller deals here and there, but nothing quite as crazy. Like, I know the Eagles brought in Requel, and I think after we recorded the last time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Even like minor signings. The Seahawks actually brought somebody in. I don't remember who. Brian Robinson's been linked there a lot, actually, too, with their offensive coordinator they hired in place of Kubiak coming from the Niners. So that'll be interesting, maybe.
Yeah.
But still a lot of action to happen, too, I think, with the draft.
Yep.
And like I said, we'll definitely hit some more of this once March Madness is over and there's less to talk about.
Yeah,
We'll
a couple
dive more
months, I
into
think we
this,
come
but-
back. Yeah, definitely to all this stuff. One last thing on the NFL. I don't know if you saw this. They're looking at the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Did you hear about all that?
Yeah, I think I like this because I think it's a fun spot for a game. I think I could honestly do with that game and take away the Black Friday one, like just switch them. Because Black Friday, like there's just so many college football games on that I'd rather be watching. It's that rivalry day, that day, and then the Saturday also. So honestly, if they just dropped Black Friday and took that Wednesday instead, I'd be okay with that.
Do we need Wednesday though?
We don't need it, but like it's more football.
I guess. I just feel like I don't know. It almost gets a little watered down. There's so much, like, you got to have
Yeah, I
it every
think
single day. Like,
they got to be careful.
they got to be careful about some of that. I do agree. Like Friday, I'm good with the college football rivalries. Friday, Saturday, have Thanksgiving. I think it's still a great week. And we talked about it when we talked about the months. Like there's still some basketball going on then, some college basketball that's really good. I mean, can't we just like get together with family and just hang out and not have to have? I mean, I'm a sports guy too, but like,
Yeah.
you got to have a football game on Wednesday night. Like, I don't know. And then like scheduling wise, like what will that team, like the prior week, will they have the Thursday
That's
the
what
week
I don't
before?
know,
And
yeah.
then like, that's
I
going
don't
to be
know
a
how that
weird
works.
scheduling. Or a bye week, I guess. It'll have to be somebody coming off a bye, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
don't
you're
know.
hardly getting a bye. You're almost getting like 2 kind of half buys.
Yeah. I mean, I do like watching football, but at some point it's like, dude, you really got to put this on every single day? Like, you guys are looking for every excuse just to have
Mhm.
a game every day. But anyway, so that'll be interesting to see if that comes through too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, those are the big ones I think I had on the
Yeah.
the extra innings. Anything else?
I don't think so. Like I said, I was good talk World Baseball Class. Kind of hit that already, and yeah, NFL was just that was the other big thing. Otherwise, NBA is kind of still heating up, kind of similar respect to last week when we talked about it. Hockey, actually, you mentioned Draisaitl and Austin Matthews is also out. I don't know if we ever talked about that on here while we were recording, but that's
Yeah,
kind of
we
been a
did
whole saga too with I forget the guy's name, but the guy that injured his knee getting suspended, and then the Leafs saying he didn't get suspended for long enough. It's kind of been a whole thing. So, but yeah, Austin Matthews is out for the season. Toward his MCL,
Lower body.
something in his knee, lower body,
Lower
exactly.
body injury.
That one they did talk a little bit more about because it was kind of like a
Yeah.
shot to his knee.
Yeah.
But yes, he's out for the season.
Yep. Okay.
All right, I think that's about it then, right?
Yeah. It's good, man.
Yeah, we thought I'd wrap it up.
Brackets are filled out.
Exactly.
Paper here.
Yeah, some tons of
all good
games to
go.
watch. It's
Yeah.
4-day slate of game after game, so that'll be a lot of fun. I'm sure I'll pull it up in school, watch it on my computer during class.
Let the
It'll be a good
chaos
time.
ensue,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Should be
so I think that'll wrap it up here. We'll come back next week, see where we're at. And yeah, make sure to join that bracket pool too.
Yep.
But yeah, that's going to do it for this drive on First and 4. If you like today's conversation, make sure to follow, rate, and share the show. We'll be back next time breaking down the biggest stories and our generational opinions from the 4 major sports. Until then, we'll see you for the next play.
Peace out.